anyone faced any problem or any issues regarding the installation procedure? I got one mail from Uday. Yes, Uday, go ahead.
Yeah, it unzipped correctly actually. The whole hybris, whatever the zip file got extracted correctly, and it processed off the, may not be off the through, it performed some steps, and then it got stopped, and when I see the error, it is trying to get SQL JDBC connections and all that, and it was saying that there is no JDBC or a jar file related to the SQL. So that's what error it got stopped.
Okay, so means you have just processed the installation means according to the way I have shown you, right?
Yeah, the steps actually, installation file is there and I'm following the same thing actually.
Okay, but in that, so for you the Java is properly installed?
Yeah, Java installed properly because I could see that at the prompt, when I see what is the version, everything is fine. Because initially that is what the problem, if that is a problem, it is not starting anything, meaning even Eclipse is not getting installed. So I corrected that, then Eclipse installed correctly. Even the hybris extraction, the first steps are being fine. Like setting up the environment is good, and then the other clean all, clean all. It started, it performed, it asks about whether you're developer or production. So by default, by just pressing enter, it was started installing the developer version. So a couple of steps has gone, and exactly the step where I'm saying, I sent only a part of screen, but when I scroll up and see, it was trying to install, let me just open that, I have that more detail.
So Uday, if you are just sitting in the same system, you can do one thing, you can just share your screen quickly so that we can take it from there.
Yes, so that will be the better option because I'm using the same screen.
Yeah, can you just share your screen?
So how to, you have to give me or I just can say something?
I have made you the presenter.
Okay, yeah. You can see my screen, right?
So far, I cannot see. The other guys, can you see the screen?
No, Deepak.
Okay, so share my screen. Yes, I'm doing it. Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, I can see now. Okay, so one small thing I would like to say here is like you have installed hybris in your program files, isn't it?
Yeah.
That program files, as I told you, that it is containing a space in between the folder name itself. Can you just change the path?
Okay. So I need to maybe move totally out now.
Yeah, you can just put it in some document folder or somewhere where the folder structure is not containing any space.
No, I got it. I know. I'm just saying that let me just move out of that. So whatever the steps that I have done will not have any impact, right?
It should not have any impact, but the main problem that can happen is with this folder structure name itself.
No, I got it. Yeah. I'm saying that if I just move out of that, because extraction will again take so much time, so I don't want to do that.
Yeah. That should not be a problem at any part of time. So we can see that. But the JDBC connection, it should get if the Java is properly installed and everything is fine. Because otherwise in the state.env.bat you will get the problem of tools.jar. So that's absolutely fine.
So that's what I'm saying. So if you see that I can see my version. Okay, this is my version, and it is having the tools.jar and everything. I can show even that program files, Java, JDK. Oh, shit.
Lib.
Oh, sorry, lib. Yeah. So
Last.
tools is there. Yeah. So everything is there, and maybe
So
we can. Yeah, sorry. We will go ahead without making disturbance now. So once it is done, the last 5 minutes we can see that.
Yeah, no problem. So you just do one thing. Once it has been done, then just simply put a set and env.bat and get the success message over there. So once you get the success message, then run and clean all and do let me know about it. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
That should be fine. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Thank you. So I will just share my screen. Yeah. Okay. So I think you can see my screen, right? So we will be starting our discussions of today's topic, whatever we have planned for. So as of now, for today, we have planned to discuss about the data modeling part of hybris. And along with the data modeling part, we are just going to see some of the stuff, like some of the practical part as well. So practical part example we will be discussing, and there are some things that also we are just going to see in our system as well. Okay. So the data modeling part, just before starting on to the data modeling part, we just a quick recap that we have learned about the hybris setup itself, then what is Ant, what is hybris server.bat, what is the servers are there, and what all can be done with that. Then we have discussed about the extension concept, the configuration files like the local extensions XML, extension info XML, project.property, and respective means the application specific local.properties also we have seen, right? So these are the stuff that already we have done, and now the first step of our hybris learning is to create a database table, and at the same time what we are going to do is at the end of the table creation and all, we will try to push some data maybe today or maybe in the next class. So as of now, as I told you, the yesterday session itself, there was some typical extensions and all that we need to download and those things. That also we are just going to see that what and all how we need to do it. Okay. So let's start with the data modeling part of hybris itself. Okay. So the data modeling part of hybris, whatever we are having, it's basically the prime idea is to create a database table or create a data model which can consume the data from the request, means the customer request, and just pass it to the database. That's the very basic idea of having the data modeling. Okay, so before just starting on to the data modeling, means it's means mix and match of Java and hybris type systems itself. So let us quickly do one thing. Let us quickly see that what are the hybris. I have told you that there are the local database that we are using. There is something that we can just have a look at it to the database itself with a simple SQL command. So that part we will see. Then I will be back to the data modeling, because once we start the data modeling, it would be a bit messy that if we go there in that part. Okay. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to sorry. So I'm in my hybris 5.4 itself, like a hybris 5.4 installation itself, and now we are just going to see the data model. Okay. So sorry, the database itself we are just going to see. So I will just come here and I have 4 folders that is been created. So the first thing that I would like to say is like whatever the data related stuff is there, that will be in the data file or data folder. So if I open this, I can see that there is each SQL DB is always there, and the size of the stuff is like 222 MB. And if you check the first day session, it was likely 93 KB or something like that. So some data is been loaded here. Means something has been loaded which is making the size this big. And I can see that the file is mydb.data, which is having a big size itself, that is likely 163 MB. So I will just copy this location as of now, and we will see that where we can access the database. So typically this is my data file itself, which is having all the information, so all the table informations and all regarding the data of hybris, okay, whatever my hybris system is having. So I will just quickly go to the bin, then go to platform, and in platform, so just what I am showing you is to access the database itself. So if we just go here in the lib folder, there I can see that there is something called the DB driver. So platform lib DB driver is the location where we will be having the hsqldb 2.2.9.jar file. And this jar file is doing nothing but this is the jar which will help us to access the database itself. So I will open this jar itself and I can see that a UI has opened for me, HSQL Database Manager UI. So I will just go for the HSQL Database Engine standalone itself, because we are using the standalone database file itself in the mydb.data, and I have to give the database path. So that's why I have copied. And the username, password, whatever is there, it is we would be able to see it in the project.properties of platform. That also we have seen. So if I click on OK, it is just trying to, okay, just let me check. Okay, it's file, then exit. Just a second, I have to give another parameter which I just forgot about it. So I have to give the file name as well, otherwise it is just showing the folder structure. So it will be mydb. Okay. So if I just click on it and it is initializing and it is trying to connect to the database itself right now. So what will happen once this is been created? Okay, where the connection has been established, then we should be able to see the whole database table structure itself, and it is just happening in that way itself for us. And just wait for a couple of seconds itself, so we can see that in this one we will be able to. Yeah, anyone, any questions?
Yeah, Deepak, this is Amit. So what was the path you were copying there?
So Amit, I have copied the path of the mydb.data file, which is there in my hybris installation data folder, hsqldb folder itself.
Okay.
So if I just quickly go one more time, I'm just showing it to you. Mm-hmm. This is my hybris installation. This is here I am there, and then my data folder is here, right? Okay. Which has been created, and that's what I was telling, that the first time the data folder which was been created, that was likely of some 93 KB or something. Okay. But as of now, it is likely 222 MB.
Okay. So you give the path of HSQL DB. Okay. This is the path which
this is the path I have given. Along with this, I have given the file name itself. That's it. So this is the path I have used, the mydb path I have used over here in the standalone itself. And what happened, we can see that the tables have been created. Means tables are actually displaying whatever the tables are there in the database, that is there. And if I know the table names itself, so I can write a simple SQL query. And if I click on execute SQL, I can see that all the rows have been retrieved. Even 7122 rows are retrieved, right? It is showing like that. And if I go to my hybris and check for number of product rows, it will be 7122. So as of now, what I am just showing you is like how we can access the database using simple SQLs. Okay. Now, gradually we will have another searches, another things that we can do it from UI. But this is an extra part which I don't have in the PDF or presentation, but it is an extra part that how we can access the hybris database itself from the system, from our system itself. Amit, is it clear?
Yeah, I think that's fine. And the path which we need to provide, you said, okay, and then the file name you have to give, okay.
Yeah, the data file name you need to give, that's it. And change it to yes, Divya.
And quickly, one more thing on the just checking with everyone on the installation part. Did everybody was able to install, or like who was not able to install?
So Amit, what I got the information that Uday was having some problem with the installation, and I think before you were joining the call, we had a quick conversation with Uday with the screen share. So I have just told him about a workaround, and he will be just checking that. And if the problem persists for him, then we will take the call at last of today's session, likely 5 to 10 minutes, and then we will sort it out.
Okay. And apart from Uday, did everybody was able to install?
I think so, cause yeah, you can just ask the participants over there.
Yeah, if anybody has not done, please let us know. Otherwise, we will take it as a yes. Okay, sounds perfect. I think so. Everybody was able to. So I think one more thing I would just like to say that while Deepak is going over like the database part of it, so it's a good idea to open the session on your end also and probably try to follow that. That way you'll be able to pick up exactly.
Can you do this step back one more time? Show us this database back again. How do you run this SQL DB command?
Yes, Sandeep, we'll do that. So all I have done is like I have gone to my installation itself, means wherever I have just installed hybris, and then I have gone to the data HSQLDB and copied this path as of now. Okay. Then I have gone to the bin, platform, lib, db driver, then HSQLDB 2.2.9.jar is a file. Okay, and make sure that your server is not running because we are having a single connection right now. So if your server is running in your system, you will not be able to access it.
Okay, so it has to be okay. Okay, that was the reason. Got it.
Yeah. So standalone, and then the path I need to give, and the file name itself. That's all.
File name you can do anything, or like the one which is already there.
No, the file name I have to give it as MyDB itself. Otherwise, it will not be able to connect to the file, right? It is basically what is happening using JDBC connection. It is just connecting to this file itself.
Okay, so MyDB is already there. Okay, right.
Okay, yeah. I think Divya has raised his hand. Divya, you have any question?
Listen, still I'm getting one error. In that time my server is up, so I'm getting that error that something is logged on that server. So I stopped my server and right now it's working.
Okay, that's fine. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, hi Deepak.
Yeah, Khaja, tell me.
Deepak, how did you, how the database manager is coming by clicking on, by doing double click on this mydb.data?
No, the database manager is coming just like this. I have just double clicked on the HSQLDB 2.2.9.jar, this file itself.
Okay, by clicking on jar, it is opening.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Fine. Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So this was likely a quick check on the database, how we can access the database in Hybris systems and all. So now we are just going to discuss about the data modeling part of Hybris, like how we are handling the data modeling itself and all, how the database tables have been created, these things. Divya, you have any questions?
Yes, actually, I just want to know that how to do the SQL part here as well. Can you please show an example for that, because we have seen how to access that, but we have not seen how to access the data in through SQL here.
That I have just now searched it, isn't it?
Oh, actually,
No problem. So Divya, this is a way that you can just simply write SQL and click on execute SQL. It will just show you the results. All you need to know, all you need to know is the table names itself. That I will tell you where you can find the table names.
okay. But another thing, that the left hand side, all the folders that are right now we can see. So either they are referring to one of database schema, or there's something.
Yeah,
Can you explain?
these are some of the database schema itself and what you can access. So you can just quickly have a look. This is means like the table structure and all. You can also see that. And basically, if you just want to see the schemas itself, you can change the schema, update the schemas as well. So you can just have a look at it. So it's a complete optional topic. So we will, I think that we can just have a look. If you have any specific question, obviously you can just take a screenshot and mail me that. So I will
Okay.
reply back on that. Okay, no problem.
Okay. So is there any way that, because we have right now fetching the data by select command, so is there any way we can create the data using SQL command here?
No. Here, here we don't have that, and we don't recommend that as well.
Okay.
Because it's directly accessing the database, right? So if the MyDB data is been corrupted or something, then you need to reinitialize the system by deleting the data itself.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Thank you.
So the data modeling part we are just going to discuss, and the data modeling itself we are just going to discuss about the type systems first. So what is the type system is all about? That is that's what we are just going to discuss now. So it's the first of all, the thing I'm just going to discuss with you guys is like this is very close to the Java world itself. Okay, so we will see the ORM stuff, and we will see that whatever is there in Java and something which mix and match of Java and Hybris is there as part of the type system itself, which we typically use for the database relations and database mappings itself. Okay. So this is where the Java and Hybris stands for the database data modeling part of it itself. So we know, means if we are just familiar with the Java itself, Java world, we have a class and we have an object, and we are using that object itself in the real time for to access the class itself. Like that it happens, right? So the object is an instance of a class, and the class is a blueprint of an object. That's the relation that in Java we are having, and in Hybris we are having the same way. Likewise, we have the item is an instance of a type, and a type is a blueprint of an item. So these are some of the terms that we are having, and let us just quickly think in this way, that whatever we are just going to do in hybris, we are just going to create some of the types itself, or we can say that we are just going to create some of the item types itself, and at the end of the creation, there will be some Java files created which we will be using in our code, and at the same time there will be some of the database tables also will be created in the database, where we will be just we will be using them to store the data itself, and that's what the hybris and Java is actually aligned with in mode of the data model. Okay, so this is how the Java classes and hybris types are not, we will not say that it's related, but it's likely similar to each other. So what happens, let's say, if means for the non-Java people who are here, so let us just quickly tell you these things. Like in Java, what happens if I just want to use, let's say, take this example itself. So I have the car model.java itself, where I just want to use some features of another class, which is the product class itself, the product model. Okay. So what we do it, we create the car model as a subclass of the product model, right? And product model, what it does, it like, so whenever we are just running the car model, or we are just creating the car model, by runtime, what happens is like, let's say the fuel and kilowatt is defined as part of this car model.java. Likewise here itself, I'm just taking this part as an example and calling you. So in here, the car itself is having two two attributes itself, which is coming from the product model, and that is actually possible that as the product model is a superclass of the car model, or the car model is a subclass of the product model. So in hybris also, the type system whatever we can create, it also looks something similar like this. So what is that what that happens basically, the product model, the product is a localized, means the product features, we are just bringing it to the car model. So we are creating the car along with some of the features of the product. And in hybris we call in Java we call this as a subclass superclass concept. So car model is a subclass of the product model. In here, in hybris, we call the same thing. The car is a composed type of the product. So what does it mean by composed type? So composed type is very simple, like the car model is basically a product, or the car is basically a product which is having some extra feature with the basic product itself. That's the very basic understanding. So this is the Java part. The representation part, as of now, we can just simply leave it out. So once we will go for the practical example, we will see that why they are just putting it, the type system is representing the model.java itself. That's a different thing. But as of now, this is where the Java world and hybris type system world is aligned to each other. So we are creating a database table. Let's take the type system part itself, like the right hand side of the screen. So the highlighted part, we will take, we are creating a database table which is having its own column, and it is having some of the columns that is from another table itself. Okay. So that is how the compose type works. So car is a compose type of product. Now you might ask me that is the product is a compose type for anything else? So we can handle that. Even product can be compose type of some XYZ. That's absolutely fine. But as of now, the type system, whatever we are having it like this. So we have car, we have which is derived from the product. So at the end of the means execution itself, car will be having 4 columns, where 2 will be coming from product and 2 will be uniquely from car. And you can see that basically, as I am telling you, the type system itself, we are having the columns, or we are having this, we call it as an attribute. This attribute will do nothing, but it will create some of the columns in the database. Okay, that also we will see that how it works and what all is there. That also we will see And in hybris, there is a lot of things that we can just play around with the system. Okay. Now there are what all the types that is there in hybris means, like we have seen one thing that is a composed type. Car is a composed type of product. Okay. So likewise, there we are having 6 types in hybris. Yes, any questions?
Yes, Deepak, I have a quick question on type system. Could you please come back on previous slide?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, product model is a superclass and the car model is a child class. So the relation is a relation. Yeah. So can we create a type system on has a relation kind of thing?
Can we wait for some time, Manish? Because what we will do is like we will see that what all we can do. Okay. It's very there is for relation there is a complete different area itself altogether. So as of now, the basic idea is to just the Java classes versus the hybris type. What happens means how they are actually, and hybris types we are yet to create. So we will create that and we will see that if you have that question by that time. Okay.
Okay.
Just wait for some couple of minutes itself, like half an hour or so. Okay. We are having like some of the types. As I told you, there are 6 types that we use in hybris. The first is the atomic type. So atomic type is representing the Java value object which are mapped to the database types itself. So atomic type means if I am just creating a type which is typically a Java primitive types itself, means like an integer or string or something like that, that comes to the atomic type. Then we can use the collection types as well. So we are creating a collection type itself where it will store a collection. Then we have the map type. Map type represents a typed map itself. Like we will be having a map and we can store it as part of the system. And all of the stuff I will be just showing you in the practical part of it itself. And there will be a small quick task for you as well before you are just coming for the next session tomorrow. That also I will tell you what all you need to check. Okay. Then we have the composed type. So composed type is like composed object of another hybris types. Like we have seen the product and car itself. So the car is the type of the product, right? So that's the car is a composed type basically. Then we have the enumeration meta type. So enumeration meta type, what it does, it is providing some of the enumerations or some of the default values. So we used to create a type which is likely providing, which will be providing us some of the default values itself. Okay. And that values we are just using as an item attribute. Okay. That also this is one also we are just going to see, and we are having the relation type here. So the composed type which describes the binary relation between the items. Means like one to many, many to one, one to one, this kind of a relationship that we can define it as part of the hybris type system. Now, as I was just talking about the hybris type system so much, and there is some places that we are actually writing the stuff, right? That's what means like we have to define it in a proper way. We have to define the types in hybris in some of the means particular specific files itself, and that file stores in the extension items.xml. So let me just open any of them. So let me check whether it will be having or not. I don't know. Yeah, it's there. So I have opened CS Cockpit, a random extension itself, and I have gone to the resource folder. So all of the extension in their resource folder, they will be having one file called extension name items.xml. So here CS Cockpit items.xml. Here it will be configurable bundle services items.xml, like that. This items.xml is the file where we are writing or where we are defining the hybris data models itself. And if you can remember that while discussing the AND, there were some lines that it was telling that it is creating the data model from the items.xml and all. And that time we have parked that over there itself. And this is what items XML is all about. So a typical items XML, whatever is there, it is having some several tags and all. So based on that XSD itself. So here all the stuff. So this is a blank items XML. You can see that the item types is the primary tag that it is having. Basically the items are the primary tag, and under that we are having the item types tags. Okay. And then we can define the item types over here, whatever the item types or whatever the database tables we are just going to create. So basically it's a XML thing that we are just going to do in the real time itself. Okay. So as of now, what we are just going, what we have known is like there are 6 types in hybris. So atomic type, collection type, map type, then compose type, enumeration type, and relation type. These are the 6 data models that we are having, or 6 item types in hybris that we can have as part of a hybris system. Now we will see that how we are writing, what we are writing, what is happening in those ends and all. Those are the stuff we are just going to see. Okay. So now, whenever we are just going to create a new item type, 3 ways it can be done. Okay. When I say 3 ways it can be done, we can extend it from an existing item type, which is likely the creation of a compose type. First option. Second option is we are just creating a complete standalone item type itself, means like it's not extending anything, it is not having any relation, it's a complete new table, fresh table we can create. And another thing is like we can just enhance the existing type itself. Like we have defined this product as, so let's just quickly go for the examples itself. So first of all, creation of the new type is like define the type by existing already existing type itself. Likewise, creation of an composed type. So item type code is equals to car, and it extends product. So product should be existing in some other items.xml, otherwise it will fail to create it. Okay, so we should have some product in the system. Okay, some product item type should be there in the system, otherwise it cannot be done. Then we can define a completely new type, which is like item type code is equals to car, and then the bracket closes. There is a line that it is telling that it implicitly extends from generic item. That we will see what is generic item is all about. Okay, so these are the 2 things that we have seen is like creation of the new type is item type code is equals to car, extend product, which is typically extending an existing type itself. Okay, then we have defined the completely new type where it will not extend anything, but at the same time it will create the stuff itself. And there is the highlighted line talks about it implicitly extends from generic item. So basically generic item is another item. From this line we can understand, but what is generic item, we will discuss it later on. Okay, then we can extend existing types. Extend existing type means, let's say product is defined in some XYZ items.xml, but as we have discussed that we cannot touch the hybris coder, right? We cannot directly go and modify, or I cannot go and directly modify another attribute in the product wherever the product is defined, because that is hybris code base and we are not allowed to touch it. So I have to extend, or I have to enhance the product in my code itself. And to enhance the existing product in my code, all I have to do is I have to just go to the item type code is equals to product. Then I have to put something over here, the dots itself. There are something I will tell you. And then you have to put it as the attribute qualifier as the new attribute qualifiers itself. Means you have to create the new columns itself altogether. Okay, that's the very basic way of extending an existing type. Okay. Now, let's say there is another instance as well. So the first thing is like extending a product, then or extending existing type, then is a standalone one, then is overriding uh, existing type itself in our custom code base, right? These are the three scenarios. Then there is a fourth scenario as well, which is the part of the third scenario itself. So let's say like we have the code, let's say the product code, we have just declared it as a string. Okay. In the hybris default code base, it is defined as a string, but in my system, I just want it to be an integer. The same code, I just want it to be an integer. So all I have to do is I have to go here and I have to redeclare as true, and then I have to give the type, that which type I just want to declare the stuff. Okay. So what actually happens in this case? The code, whenever we just put it as redeclare as true in my custom code base, it is been taken care, and whatever the attribute or type that is been defined over here, it will just change the attribute, means it will just put it like that itself, means the column type will be created completely newly after we just try to build the stuff itself. Like, so when I say build the stuff, means after the AND, we have to do the AND every time. We'll see that. So these are likely extending the data model or creating the data model as a very basic way. And this is what also we are just going to see as of today. So this is what it is all about. This is how we are just going to create, and these are the all possible stuff that we can do it, right? Or if you have any specific questions, you can just raise your hand so we can take the questions from there. So we have seen the how to extend the data models right now. The next part is like how the code snippet works. So we are just going to write the code snippets itself, like how the code snippet works and what is the exact way that we can work on it. So before just going to write, before just taking this example itself, what we can do is we can simply take the example or the practical example itself. We will just do it, and then we will quickly go through one by one to the slides itself. Okay, is that fine understanding, guys? Okay.
Yeah, Deepak, this is Kundan.
Yeah, Kundan, tell me.
Regarding this product and car relation, so what is exactly happening behind the scene? We are creating a new table called car.
Yes, we are creating a new table called car, and what we are doing in that is like we are just creating, or we are just extending it from an existing table, which is product. Okay. Or whenever I say this, that means like the two columns are from product table, two columns are from the car table. The ORM mapping, what happens in the backend, we will see once we see the table structure in this diagrammatic representation itself. But as of now, you can take that whenever we are extending the car from product, the whole thing is taken care by hybris itself. How to map and what all needs to be done. The table structure, basically, if you are asking.
Okay. So then why we are comparing it with Java? Like in the first screen.
Yes. So whenever I would write one items.xml for ourselves, then it will be clear. Okay.
Okay.
Then it will be obviously clear, and we will see that, means why we are just comparing it with Java and all. We will see that basically. So the first thing is like, as I have discussed yesterday, I have just downloaded the copy extension in my system. So you will get it in Hybris Wiki, that knowledge, and then if you go for the code trails, in the first step itself, you will be able to see that they are giving the option to download the copy.zip. And if you just download the copy.zip, this 3.12 MB file will come up. And all I have to do is so this is typically for practicing the core purpose. Okay. So there is absolutely no reason of doing it for commerce. So I will just extract the copy as of now. And this is a typical extension that I have got it in the name of copy. I can see the extension info XML project.property. So basically what Hybris has done, they have provided us one extension itself. Okay. So I will just take this extension and I have to put it somewhere over here in bin, right? Because our local extension XML is just locating to the bin itself. So can you guys just tell me that where, whoever is familiar with Hybris, it's fine for them. But can you guys tell me that where I can put copy in my in this folder structure? Any idea?
You have to create one custom folder.
Yeah, we have. So who was that?
This is the base.
Hi, Divya. So, yes, what Divya has told us, we have to put it in the custom folder. And Divya, can you tell me that why we need to put it in the custom folder?
No, just followed the copy trail, so I know not that it should be.
No problem, no problem. So basically, we have to create a folder called custom over here, okay? And in that custom, I have to place the copy. Now the concept is why. Because we are having all the Excel means all the folders over here provided by Hybris, right? And copy is an external code base. Basically, it's not distributed with the multi-channel suite. So whenever we are just creating this code base means or just creating or putting the external code base to my Hybris, we need to put it in the custom folder. So basically, as of now, for our core practice, as we are copying this existing extension, that's why we need to create the custom. But whenever we will be starting the commerce, we will be seeing that once we do the ant all itself and just start the commerce, and that time itself, I will just simply delete the custom as well. This custom, what will happen? A custom folder will be created again because that is provided as part of the build tools target. So whatever the custom code or whatever the non-hybrid provided code means, like the multi-channel suite provided code, we need to put it in the custom, or whatever our custom code also, that we need to put it in custom. Okay, that's why we have created the custom folder and we have put it over there. So can you tell me, like, no, I don't want it from Divya or Khaja that as you know these things. So what I would like to know from any other people that what is the next step I'm going to follow? Just for the understanding that we had yesterday. With the understanding itself. So as of now, let us quickly do one thing. Let me just quickly import it to the Eclipse, the copy itself. So copy I have just loaded in here. Now tell me the next step, what I'm supposed to follow. Any idea that we have to do? So copy is here for us now. Anything from anyone? Amit, Kundan? Anything?
We need to firstly call the ant command.
Okay, so we need to first call the ant command. Okay, so before that, I need to tell ant that this copy is existing, right? There is a folder or there is extension. I have put it as copy. So the first thing will be I have to put it in the local extensions XML. I have to put it here somewhere. This one, that's it. This is the first step that I have to do because I have to place it for build, right? Means I have to tell ant that there is an extension under bin somewhere is named as copy, isn't it? So that's what I'm just doing here to get it. So now I have to just call the ant. So I will put it as ant all or we can put it as and clean all also, or simply and also will work. Okay, all the stuff is absolutely fine. So we will just wait for the build to complete, and this is what is the first step that we need to do. Yes, Uday, you have any questions?
So for every custom that we build, that goes as an extension here.
Can you just rephrase the question again? So whatever we have done,
No,
we have, yeah.
no, I'm saying that copy is the one total custom one that we are bringing other than the standard, right?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is tomorrow if I'm planning something else, so every time that we build our own custom, so we have to start adding those extensions here, right?
Yeah. So whenever we are just trying to put any new extension in the system, we have to put it in the local extensions XML. Otherwise, during the end time, it will not be taken up.
So it is not considered. So whatever you build or whatever you develop, even after developing, because of the statement is not in this XML, it is not considered for that server, right?
It is not considered for the build itself, yes.
Build it, yeah, okay. Got it.
Okay.
This is a fundamental and very important step than any other.
Yeah, whenever we are just going to create an extension, or even we are just going to do that in some time. So whatever we are just going to do, the first step of after creating an extension is to put the extension name in the local extensions XML, just to take it as part of the Ant or the build framework and the server startup as well.
Thank you. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. So now what? Just let me close it off. Yeah. So Ant is successful for me, and what I'm just going to do now. So copy is actually done, right? So now I will just start the server, and we will see that. So basically, what means with the data model, help of the data model, what we means to develop the data model, we have just taken the example of copy, and let us just quickly have a look at what copy is having, and then we will just going to create the data model for us. Like why is the means we have to put it always the question that why we need a data model for copy, because it is an existing application, and in copy the items XML if we open. So where is resources, then items XML. It's a pretty big items XML that we are having here. It's a real big file, and there will be a task for you that to go through this file, at least some part of it. I will tell you which all you need to check, and then you have to answer me some couple of questions. Otherwise, I will answer it. That's a different thing, but you have to search this file. Okay. So the copy items XML is there. The copy is pretty much complete extension itself. There are data also in it and all. So we will see that what all is there. And now what we are just going to do is copy is getting created. So let me just give you a brief example, a brief overview on the copy extension. So Hybris has created for the platform understanding or the platform stuff, whatever we are just going to create in our next couple of sessions or something. So what Hybris has done for us, they have given us a sample project. Okay. When I say the sample project, that means is like this is the copy extension created by the Hybris architect, the Hybris employees itself, to just implement the best practices, whatever is there in Hybris. Okay. And they have just given it as a standalone web application kind of a stuff. It's not a web application, basically it's a standalone desktop-based application, you can say. Okay, as of now. So they have created it, and now what we are going to do using that is like we are just going to enhance the platform functionality, or we are just going to test the platform functionalities based on the copy extension. Okay. But for commerce, if you ask me, we are not going to use any kind of copy kind of stuff. We will be starting everything from scratch, because the Hybris provided code base is already there. Okay. And once we are maybe on the next session or next to next session, whenever we will be just discussing about some of the other consoles, I will show you that where we can access the default websites that is provided by Hybris. Okay. So as of now, we have just copied the copy just to enhance or test the platform functionalities itself, or the core functionalities basically. So the basic takeaway is that one itself. Now what we are going to do, we are going to see that whatever is there in copy and whatever is not there in copy. So as the copy is a soccer betting application or the football betting application itself for us, so they have made it complete, but one thing they have not given, that is the stadium. Okay, the football is there, the player is there, match is there, team is, everything, news, transfer, whatever is required, it is there, but only one thing is not there, that is the stadium identity. So what the first step we are just going to take is like we are just going to create a stadium identity for the for this copy itself, and that's where we are just going to start our modifications on the data modeling. So we don't have stadium, so that's why we are just going to create a stadium by ourselves. So let me check. Server startup is yet to be done for me. So once the server startup is done for me, then I will just go to the system and try to log into the copy, and we will see that what happens. Okay, means what is the behavior of it and all. Okay, and then we will have, means we will just have some couple of times, and then we will see that what is the next step that we are going to have. So as of now, yeah, any questions from anyone?
Yeah, Deepak, this is Kundan.
Yeah.
So in this that particular folder where you created the custom folder.
It's in the bin I have created.
Yeah. So inside this you put zip file. So
Kundan, I just missed you in between. Can you just come again, please?
Yeah, in this custom folder you have put that particular zip file, copy. You unzip this file. Yeah.
Yes.
And this copy you are registering in that XML file, extension info.xml.
No, it's in the local extensions XML.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Mm-hmm.
So, but right now you are doing and all, but yet this, because custom folder is also a new folder that you have created. We have not registered that one anywhere. Custom. How does the system knows that it has to take the folder structure from this custom?
Okay. So let me just quickly tell you one thing. So here we are just given the path directory to bin, right?
Yeah.
And then what we are using, we are just using the extension names itself. There is another command called extension dir, okay, or the extension directory command. So if I just put extension directory command, so let me just add, okay, let me put it here. So if I just put this one here, and then I have to give it like this, okay.
Okay.
So I have to specify that in custom there is a copy itself under bin, because the path directory is given up to bin. But what we are doing here is like we are just using the extension name, and the custom folder itself, it's not an extension basically, isn't it? It's a normal folder. So that's why it's going for the first depth, and it is taking up with the name copy itself.
Okay, it means we can give any folder name like custom 1, custom 2, and it will take, if we put the zip file in, if we unzip the files in that and register in this local,
okay. I got it. So if you just want to put it as multiple custom folders over there, what will happen? It will not be able to pick it up, because the name custom itself is defined as part of the build.xml, the platform build.xml for Ant. So basically what is happening, the Ant is parsing the whole thing, right? It's parsing this XML and it's parsing the exact folder location as well by the search depth. So it has told us that if there is any custom extension or something, that should be in the custom folder. So you can just try it out. You can just try it out with the custom one or something, multiple customs itself you can put and check that what is the behavior of the system.
Okay. Will do.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sure. No problem. So just, yeah, Divya, tell me.
Actually, if you can put that directory and the custom one path, is that going to pass that as well? Because in this case, we are putting directly extension and name, and the compiler is automatically picking that custom folder for this extension. So if we are going to put in new folder and all those things, we can put the directory directly, right? So that you can pick that.
Yeah. Yes. Using the dir command, you can just directly go to that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Extension dir itself, yeah. And you can see that basically what happens in the console whenever I will be creating a new extensions or something, the extension dir command, which was a part of like the hybris version 4, means if you check the hybris version 4 local extensions XML, any of them, you would be able to see that is there in as extension dir. Okay. In version 4, this instead of name, the dir was being used. The name has come up in version 5. So in that case, we have to properly define the extension path itself, like with the folder structure and all. So dir will just go to the exact location and fetch it up. Otherwise, we can use the name itself. Okay. So yeah, almost my server startup is done. And what I will do is, like, after this server startup, I will just simply comment it out the whole thing. Because for the core exercise of this area, means up to this accelerator, we don't need this. Only the first 5 or 6 will work for us. Okay. So just to make this make this server startup in a very less time, we can just comment out these extensions itself. Okay. And if you just want to get back these extensions, all you can do is just take the reference of the extensions XML of platform, and you can just put the extension names over there. So it's taking more time than the normal itself for me. I don't know why today it's like that. But once the copy is up and running, then we would be able to see at least the copy console. Yeah, Divya, tell me.
Actually, I just want to know that is there any specific reason that you are skipping that upper parts and commenting the below?
Yes, the upper part is like, I will tell you when this copy is basically based on the platform functionality, right? It's a standalone application itself, and copy in the underlying layer is only using this 5. Means if you open the copy extension in info XML, I can see that only the required extension is cockpit. So I have to open this guy, the cockpit. And if I go to the cockpit, then in the cockpit extension info XML, I can see that these are some of the stuff these are some of the extensions itself that is there, and these are the extensions that is a platform that is under this extension is the platform HMC extension. It is the sub extensions of this one. So I will tell you these things why I have told you that. But as of now, copy only use this part itself, and these 6 itself we are going to use for our core understanding or the core learning. Means the hybris core learning, we are just going to use these 6. That's it. So that's why, and the process will be a bit faster as well.
Okay.
Okay. So that's why I have told it. There is no other reason.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Deepak.
Yeah, Khaja, tell me.
Deepak, I would like to ask you that here, once go up Deepak, this, in your local extensions.xml file.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here path directory is given hybris bin directory.
Mm-hmm.
So dir. So in bin folder, whatever the folders including custom it contains. So it all the information is traced by ant builder, right? I mean,
yes.
Okay, fine. So here we no need to give hybris, bin, and custom, right?
No, we don't need to do the put a custom over here. So in the path directory, we don't need to put custom.
Okay, so with dir, including custom folder, it will trace all the folders.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever we create any new extension, just whenever we register that extension name in local local extension XML file, means then it will it will automatically this ant builder will build, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So in here, what is happening is like I have added copy, and where I can see the copy is added, just I can go to the update screen or initialization screen, it will come up. So if I scroll down, I can see copy is here. Where is that? Yeah, this is my copy itself. You can see that the copy is here. Okay. So it's automatically listed out in the set of extension, and as part of the copy itself, this basics World Cup 2002, these areas that has come up. So they have created it for us. And now if I just go to the copy extension, once again, I'll go to the copy extension XML, and there is a web module, right? So in the web module, the web root is given as /copy, and I will just simply try to put the copy itself, so localhost 9001, and then copy. If I just give it, I would be able to end up to the copy itself. Okay. So now I know that admin Nimda is there, so I will try to, though admin credential is not there for copy itself, there is another credential that is also provided by Hybris, and you would be able to see it whenever you will be going for the steps itself. I will tell you. So it's PP and 1, 2, 3, 4. If I am just doing it also, it's not allowing me to enter. So is there any idea that why it is not allowing me to enter into the copy? Let me tell you, the PP1234 is the complete correct user ID and password. It's not that I am just giving something wrong or anything. Any idea?
Database connection is not right.
Amit, the database connection is right, because otherwise we couldn't have seen the whole thing itself. The server will not come up. But you are very close to the answer itself. We have not loaded the data for copy, isn't it? Have we loaded the data? No, right? So copy is there, but the copy data for copy is not there in the system as of now. To load the data, all we need to do is we have to come here, then select these areas itself, like all of them you need to select it like this. Okay. So here what we are doing is like we are just selecting the data for copy. And as of now, for the update screen itself, we can just keep these 4 marked. It's absolutely fine. So I will click on update. So what it will do, what update does for us? Can anyone answer it quickly?
Create the database records.
Okay, it creates the database record. It's correct. And there is another thing is like it updates the existing records itself without dropping off anything, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what we are just doing there. So we have just updated the system, and you can see that the update system has started. Okay. So we will just wait for this to complete, and then we will just log in to the system, and then we will stop the server and do the rest of the stuff. So as of now, we are just so what we have done is like as part of the practical stuff itself, we have added copy, and then we have just updated the data of copy itself, and all of the stuff you can just get it from this new data model itself. Like you have to go to the knowledge trails, and then you have to go to the core development training, and there you will be getting that the goal itself of where I am just right now. I am in the goal part. The goal and preparation we have done, goal we have done. So now what we are just going to see is a new extension and new data model as of today. then we will see the rest of the part. Okay, so you will be able to see that. It's absolutely fine. Go to knowledge, then release 5 trails and all. You can just simply go ahead to it. So it will take likely 2 minutes or so. Guys, just a quick 1-minute break while this update is going on.
So this copy project we would get as a part of the wiki account only, right?
Yes, Sandeep, we will get that as part of the wiki account.
And that approval would take some time, like that's in the pending status for last 3 days, right?
It will be like done in the next 3 days itself. So you can just try to log in with the account. Otherwise, I will just means I think you have got the wiki access, or someone from your batch has got the wiki access. So what I would like to suggest you is, like, whoever has shared the stuff, they can just download the copy and you can share it. So the rest of the part anyway we are going to create by ourselves, but only we need to have this 3 MB extension itself.
Okay, so anyone in the group have it, like Amit or someone, then they can do it, right? I'm not sure who have it, but yeah.
Sandeep, this is Divya this side. I will share that one.
Okay, Divya, thank you.
So what we are just going to do, let it get loaded, and by that time we are just going to discuss about it, like whatever we are just going to do. So our stuff is to just create the stadium, as I have told you, right? So for that, we are not going to touch the copy code base. And we will consider the copy as a hybris provided code base or a third party system provided code base, and we are not going to touch that. We are going to learn it from scratch, how we are going to do it. And let us just quickly see here itself. So we have copy, right? The target is the stadium item type. So to create the stadium item type in the system, right? So we have to create the stadium item type in the system. That's the prime target for us. For that, the steps what we are just going to do, we have to write in the items XML. Something we need to write in the items XML. So let's put a star at items XML. So what we are going to do is we are just going to create it with a new extension itself. So just for the understanding and learning purpose, we are going to do it. Again, in the commerce scenario or in the project normal day scenario, we are not going to do it like this. We will be simply writing the items XML part. So we are, as of now, we are just going to create the new extension first. So new extension name, we are just going to give as copy trail. Why? Because just like that, we are giving the new extension name. You can give it at any name. So new extension is created. Then, so I have created copy trail, or I am just going to create copy trail for copy, right? So what we are just going to do for it. So in the extension info XML of copy trail of the new extension, we have to declare the dependency of copy. Why? So in the extension info XML of the new extension, we have to declare the dependency of copy as we are just going to use some features of copy itself. That also we are just going to see, and why we are doing it. We are doing it for copy, right? We are doing it for copy. That's why we have to just declare the dependency. Write the items XML. So for us, it will be copy trail items XML. And all start server. So these are the steps that we are just going to do so far. So now, so the new thing, whatever, all the stuff are new. One thing we know that how to just declare the dependency itself. We will see that as well. So we are just going to create a new extension in the name of copy trail. Then we are just going to declare the extension info XML of the new extension, that is the copy trail itself for us. And we have to give the dependency of copy. Then we have to write the copy trail items XML. Okay. Like for the data modeling stuff, like as I have told you that whatever the data modeling we are just discussing right now, we have to write the copy trail items in the copy trail items XML. Then we have to run the ant all, because we are just going to create the database table, isn't it? That's the stuff we are going to do. And we have to start the server. And then we will see the changes, whether it has come up or not, whether we need to do something new and all. So my copy is been loaded, it seems. The copy data is been loaded, and I will just click on continue. I will come to the copy one more time, and I will just log in with the pp1234. And once I log into the pp1234, it's allowing me to log in right now. So we can see that there are rankings, info, bits. There are so many things, so many data inside. So the sample application is here, but I cannot see that there is any stadium. The stadium itself is not there. So what we are just going to do is, we are just going to create stadium for it right now. So for that, I need to follow these steps, whatever we have discussed so far, right? Just a second. Okay. So for that, I have to stop the server, or I can just parallelly do it. But once I have to build the new extension for the first time, I need my application servers to be stopped. So that's why I am just stopping the server as of now. And to stop the server, the command is Control C, as I told you before. So it's done. The server is stopped, and I have to create. So I am just going to create a new extension in the name of copy trail. So for that, all I have to do is ant extgen. So ant extension generator is the command that we are having. We are just going to create it now. So this is the part of the previous session which I didn't discuss, because we are just going to discuss it now itself. Okay. So here we are just going to create an extension with the ant extgen, and it is asking for a template for generation. Okay. So, and it is asking for a template means Hybris has provided us some of the templates where how we can create an extension. So you can see that there is a number of templates, YMT, Y80 add tests, then fulfillment process, then China accelerator storefront, so many things are there. So these, all of them are having some typical stuff. It's like typical behavior of them. Like all of them are different from each other, having some specific structure already defined by hybris. But all we are just going to do is we are just going to choose YMT. YMT is the very basic template that we are having in hybris, and which is providing us the bare skeleton of an extension. There is no such extra file or something that comes up, but only the bare skeleton that comes up in the YMT itself. So once I give enter, it is asking for the name, the default value. So I am just going to give it as copy trail, right? This is what I have planned for. So copy trail I have given. The second thing is asking that it is asking for the package name where the Java files will be located in that path itself, like, right? So the Java package path, it is asking for this particular extension. The Java package path is like, it's a common path where we are just defining a depth, up to a certain level, and after that it will be distributed. The Java file will be distributed under SRC folder basically. So I will just give it as a name as DE hybris platform. Okay, DE hybris platform copy trail we have created, and I have just to give enter. So once I am just doing it, it's asking to do some of the next steps for me. So then what are the next steps? Add your extension to the local extensions XML, and they have just added the dir template itself. We can use this dir, or otherwise the smarter way is to add it like this. Okay. So copy trail I have added. The second thing is like, please remove all the template extension before you proceed. This is not required as of now. Okay. Just ignore the step 2. Then the second thing is make sure the application server is stopped before you build the extension for the first time. So I have stopped it already. Then I perform ant in the hybris platform directory, means like is the extension of the third step, and this third, the application server, is my hybris I need to start. That's the basic idea of the whole thing, right? So all I'm just going to do is, as I told you, I will just comment out some of the extension which is not required for me. Just some of them I will just, to make it faster, basically, I will just do it. Okay. So the commerce extensions, anyway, I have just, simply some of them, means randomly I have just commented out some of the extensions itself. So this is what I have done, and now I have to run the ant. Server is stopped for me, so I will run ant, and once ant is done, then I will just start the server, or we will do something. By the time ant is going on, let me just quickly bring copy trail also in here. Import existing projects. So copy trail is there, and I will just simply bring it on. And in the copy trail, you can see that the extension info XML. So let us quickly close all the other stuff. Okay, so in here I can see the extension info XML of copy trail is there. So web module, as of now, I don't need this guy's web module. So because I don't want to access the copy trail standalone, right? So I will just simply remove it off. Okay, so I have just saved it, saved the file, and then I have to just check that whether the items XML is there. Yes, it is there. So I can see that it is also commented out. There is nothing else in here, right? So I need to modify this file as of now. So, okay. So it's just processing some of the files, it seems. Okay. So I have to add up some stuff in the items XML. Okay. So in here, I am just going to create the stadium item type, our data model stuff. And when I need to just add the item types over here, there are some tags itself. And let us just quickly see that what we are just going to do here. So the stadium, to create the stadium item type, okay. For stadium, okay. So stadium will be having code, capacity, and matches. So these are the stadium fields that we will be having, or the stadium attributes, or the stadium columns of the stadium table that we will be having. Okay. So stadium code capacity matches is there, and all we are just going to do is like we are going to create an item type, and we have to use the item type tag itself in here. So as of now, I have just taken the skeleton of the file, which looks like this. So I will take this as an take this snippet, and I will show it to you what is there. So this is what the stadium item types is all about. Okay, item types tags is there, so I will just not need this. Okay, so in here I have created the stadium item type for the first time. So you can see that whatever is happened, the item type code is equals to stadium. Then there is something I will come to this part itself. So stadium is a complete new item type that has been created. So that's why I have just put it as a stadium, and there is no extending stuff is there. So in here, if I just go back to the type system while extending something, all we need to do is item type code is equals to car, and then I have to extend it from the product. Means the superclass itself or the parent type, whatever you just try to tell it as like that. Then we have the auto create true and generate true itself. So in here also I am having the same thing. The auto create true and generate true. What does this mean? So Divya or Khaja, who has just worked on this part, can you just guys tell me that what is auto create true and generate true for us? Then I will tell it for the others.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, Khaja, go ahead.
Yeah, hi Deepak. Yeah. So when coming to data modeling part, using auto create is equal to true, and generate is equal to true. So generate is used to create model classes. It will create model classes. And auto create is equal to true means it will allow the table persistently in the table. I mean into the HSQL DB database.
Okay. Okay. So Divya, you have a different understanding than this?
No. I don't worry about it.
So let us just quickly discuss about it. So I have just given the item type code is equals to stadium, and then the rest of the part is generate true and auto create true. So we were having a question that why we are just using the Java itself. I think I had got the question from Manish. Means if I can remember correctly. So the concept is like whatever we are just using here, we are going to create or we are just going to have some of the model classes or some of the Java classes derived out of this particular code snippet. Okay. And this model classes or whatever the Java classes that is going to be created, we are just going to use them for the database access or the database operations in the real time from our system, like the request response, whatever that happens. Okay. That's where the Java world and the hybris world comes closer. So the generate true and auto create true, whatever our guys Khaja and Divya told us, is very simple. That once we give it as generate true, it will generate the classes itself. It will generate the classes of for this particular item type itself. And auto create true means it will create the table into the database, but the persistent mapping yet to be done, but it will create the table at least to the database. So now just quickly going back here also it's the same thing. Okay. So auto create true means it will create the table, some table kind of a structure, and generate true means it will create the model classes. Now in this case, extending existing types, I have told you that in these dots there is something, right? So if I'm just going to create product or if I'm just going to redeclare the product one more time, do I need to put it as auto create true and generate true? No, right? We in this dot itself, the highlighted area, we need to put it as auto create is equals to false and generate is equals to false. Why? Because the table is already there and the model classes are already generated. So we don't need to put it. So whenever we are extending an existing type, we don't need to put anything over here. Or let me just tell you in this way, we need to put it as auto create false and generate false. Okay, this is the prime difference between an existing type creation and all. So whenever we are just going to do it, so let's say stadium is extending from product, then also we will put it as generate to auto create true because stadium is a new one, though it's a compose type, but it's a new one in that case itself. So this is what is written in the line number 23. So line number 24, there is something we will discuss later on. Then we have these attributes. These attributes are nothing but the columns of the database or the table itself. The stadium table is having these 3 attributes itself, as I told you. Okay. So, and this part itself, as of now, let us just quickly. Okay. So I have just commented out. So I have the code and capacity itself. Now I have to bring the matches as well, right? So we have matches in the copy, isn't it? So the code and capacity, you can see that these are the standalone attributes that it is having. Both are the string, one is string and one is integer. So the attribute qualifier is equals to code, type is equals to Java lang string. It is a Java primitive type that we are using. The next line is a bit tricky over here, that we call it as the persistent type is equals to property. So what does this persistent type property means? Persistent type property means this code, the table code, the table attribute code, the column value of the column code itself, it will be loaded to the database by some of the external input, or it will be stored into the database as well. So whenever this persistent type property is there, the compiler, the internal compiler who is compiling the file, and maybe Ant also, it takes in this way that the value of the field or value of the attribute itself, it will come from any external input and it will be stored in the database properly. That's what the persistent type property means for us. Okay. Now what happens is, like, there are some other persistent type property as well. You can see that the persistent type Jalo is there, CMP is there, dynamic is also there. But as of now, we are using the property and dynamic itself. The other two are deprecated, completely deprecated itself. Okay. So Jalo is like a non-persistent kind of stuff, but we are not using it that much, so we can just simply ignore that part itself. And the two we are using is, one is the persistent type property and another is the persistent type dynamic. Okay. So the persistent type, both of the cases we are using the persistent type property itself. Okay. And then we are just putting something called the modifiers optional is equals to false and unique is equals to true. So what this modifiers is doing here? So modifiers false, modifiers is like, it's defining and it's a type of an attribute itself. So these are some of the constraints that we are just giving for this particular column itself. Okay. So modifier optional false means this cannot be an optional attribute to the database. Means I have to put it as part whenever I'm just going to create a data out of it. So it cannot be an optional attribute and it should be unique throughout the database itself. So only on mouse over itself, you can see that this Boolean value is already existing and you can see that what is actually it's doing over here. So from line number 26 to 28, these are the stuff that is written over here. So attribute qualifier is equals to code. Then type is Java lang string itself. Then we have the persistent type property. And modifiers optional false is there. Like we have the modifiers optional false and unique is equals to true. So what is there is like it cannot be optional attribute and it should be unique throughout the database. So this is what it is given, and for capacity there is nothing else is there. We have only the persistent type property because we are not putting any constraint for the capacity of the stadium. Okay, as of now. So this is what is the current takeaway for us, that we have created the item type stadium and we have created these things. The match is still not there. We will see that. So the build is successful for us, and if I start the server will also run very fast this time because I have commented out some couple of stuffs, but we don't have anything to see as of now. That's why I'm not starting the server. Okay. So now what we are just going to do, we are just going to run the antall command. So as of now, only the code and capacity will be created. Okay. So we are just going to run the antall command. I have saved the file and I have to just run the ant itself. So once I run the ant, basically what will happen, the items.xml for copy child will be parsed and the data models will be created basically. So to check whether the model classes are generated or not, there is a place for checking that. So I will just collapse the whole thing, and once the ant is successful, all we need to do is we need to go to the Eclipse and refresh the platform folder and search for whether the stadium is created or not. So as of now, let us just quickly do a round check of that. So we'll just put it as this one, and then stadium model.java is already been generated as of now. Okay, the rest. So let us just quickly open this guy. Stadium model.java is the one, and you can see that all of the so the copy is also persisted. So what happens over here is like the stadium model is generated by hybris itself. Okay, and then the type code stadium is there, the code and capacity whatever is there, that's also there. And what happened in this stadium model, there are the getters and setters are generated. So get capacity is there, and also this is the generated class, and this in this class itself or this stadium itself, we are just going to use these getters and setters just to map it properly to the database, or just to send the data back to the database itself. And this is what the model class is being generated out of the type system. So this is what we have seen so far. Like the model classes are generated out of the type system, that whatever we have written in the items XML. Okay. So this is what it is all about. This is how the model classes are generated and all that has happened. So I can just start the server as well, and I will just be able to see it. So just to make it faster, I will comment out all the other extensions as well if required. So only basics are there. Okay. There is another way of starting the server. If I am sure that my build will be successful, I can just simply put it like this: Antol and hybris server at the same time. Okay. So let's just server get started, and we will see that what is the behavior of copy right now, whether I can search for the stadium in the system. At least I should be able to see the stadium, right? And you can see that the copy trail is taking up, everything is going on in the system. Okay. So this is, now again we are just going back to the type system itself. So code name and all these things are there. So we have seen how to extend the things. Now the attribute itself. So the attribute, the persistent type property we have seen. Now we have to see, so persistent type property, this area we have already seen so far. The next one, whatever we are having the persistent type is equals to dynamic. So we have a discussion regarding the dynamic model attributes, or a dynamic column creation of a table, that we will discuss it over there. As of now, you can take it that we are having, or we can have the persistent type dynamic for a particular column as well. That also can be there. Okay. So this is what it is all about. So we have created the stuff itself, and then we have seen the attributes itself, the persistent type property and dynamic. Now we are just going to have the enum types. So enum types, basically what actually we are doing, we are just using this enum type tags, and what it is doing, we are just providing a code to these enum types. Like it will create another table basically. So you can see that from the structure itself, it will create this enum type table here, and this enum type table, whatever the value will be there, it will be rendered as part of the fuel, means as part of the attribute itself. So let us just quickly have a look. if we just add up one enum type for this particular our code snippet itself, and for that also I have the code snippet in my system. So I will take this enum type code and I have to put it here itself. So I have added the enum types, and this is what. So enum types, we are using the enum types tags, and in this enum type tags we are using two enums, okay, or two enumerations itself. That is, one is stadium type. Again, we have to put it as auto create true and generate true. So what it will do, it will be creating another model class itself. Like we have created stadium model, right? Here the stadium type model and the stadium access model will also be created once we do the and all. And we can see that there are the default values are also given, okay, and it's a static value. That's why we have given it as a dynamic is equals to false for enum. So what is that? The possible new values that are at the possible values at runtime and all those things. You can see it. The properly documentation is given. So we have the value code as open here and value code as enclosed and those things. And in my stadium, I am just adding this enum type itself over here. So to add the enum types, I have to declare it in an attribute. Okay. So the attribute type is equals to enum itself, this enum. So the other attribute types is Java string or Java int itself, but for this guy, the type is an enum. The enum is defined here. And then we have the qualifier as stadium type. So qualifier means the enum qualifier itself that we need to give it. It will persistent type again property, and the default value will be open here. So I am just choosing it from the default value list and I am just parsing it. So how to parsing it? Parse it like em.get enumeration value of stadium type, which is open here. Likewise, we have to do it. Okay. Likewise, we have to do the whole thing, and this is where I have to add the enums. So whenever you are just adding up the enums itself, you need to be very sure the enums are at first under the items tags. So we have to keep the enum tags at first itself. Okay. We have to add it like this, and cause we need to define the enum first and then we need to define the item types. So so my server should be, okay, server startup is done for me. So I will just simply go, copy is here for me, and okay, it's just asking for the commerce services, is it? So localhost. So we are just going to have one more stuff here is like, there is another console we are just going to discuss about this guy in the coming sessions. There is a HMC for us. So what we will be doing with the HMC itself, all we are just going to do is we are just going to see that whether the stadium is created or not as part of the system. So if I search for the stadium over here, so let me just quickly search. Okay, we can see the types. Whatever the types is there, we can see it here itself. Means the item types that is been created. Log into HMC, admin name is the ID password, go to system and types, you should be able to see it. Okay. So if I search for stadium, nothing is coming up for me as of now. So now the question is what I have missed. I have done all the things properly, right? The ANT was successful, the server startup was flawless, and everything was fine. But we are not able to search it. The part we have to do it here in the admin console, which we missed. So I have to go to the update page itself, like the platform update, and there are 4 checkboxes, right? So all we need to do is we have to just check the first checkbox, that is the update running system, and you can see that though the table is created, and as I have told that the persistence layer mapping is not yet done. The persistent mapping is done in this part itself. I have only added this update running system and there is nothing else is there. I'll click on the update and we can see that it will reload the persistence and everything. So it's updating the schema and the type system itself for the system. Then it will reload the persistence also in some time. So once the persistence is reloaded, what we will do is we will go to HMC once again and search for the stadium and see that whether the stadium is properly mapped or not, or whether the system knows that there is a stadium that has come up or not. The process is simple for every time. So I am just showing it one time, and for the next time itself, we can just take the reference that we have to do this thing. So whenever there is a items.xml changes, always we need to do the update running system from this update screen. Nothing else is there is required. Only the update running system would work for us. Okay. So up to this point, is it clear? Means what is happening, is it clear? Guys, anyone, any questions? I have just forgot to save it. Yes, I have saved it as well. So whatever we have seen so far is like we have created an extension, added in the local extensions XML, then added some of the code snippet, ran the ant itself, and see the model classes are being generated. And we told that with these getters and setters of the model classes, whatever is generated, we are just going to access, or we are just going to access the database itself like that, or we are just going to put the data into the database and all those things that we are just going to do with it. The first step was this. The second step was we have just added the enumerations itself. So we have just declared the enum types, the code given, and the default values are also given. And as part of the item attributes, we have added the stadium type, and in that we are just rendering the default value of the enum. That's what we have done so far. But still we have not done the complete stuff of the enum. We will see that. So it's done for us, and then what I will do is like I will just simply log into HMC one more time and then search for the stadium. And I can see the stadium is actually coming for me right now. So the persistent mapping is done, and the system knows that there is a stadium already existing. And the basic takeaway for us is like whenever we are just going to modify the items.xml, always we need to do the update running system. Otherwise, the model classes will be generated, everything will be fine, but the server mapping or the persistent layer mapping with the platform will be still left. And the hybrid system will not be able to figure it out that what is actually happening in the database itself. So persistent layer mapping done as part of the update running system. We are yet to see the three checkboxes over here. We will see it gradually. The other three checkboxes itself. Okay. So this is what it is all about as of now for the items XML. So we have not given the dependency so far on copy. All right, and everything is working fine. So let us do one thing. Let us quickly just check one small thing is like we will add up the matches. Okay, so we will add up the matches with the stadiums itself, or we are just going to map the match with the stadium. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to define a relation. We have to define a binary relation. Okay, Puneet, you are just having any questions?
Yeah, Deepak, this is Kundan.
Okay.
Actually, right now I'm with Pune. So one question over here, like you have defined enum type, that is stadium access, and given some values. So every time if there is new value needs to be added, we need to add it in this particular file, and every time we need to update the system.
It's not like that, Kundan. So you can see that there is a dynamic column itself, and in the dynamic column, it's possible to add new values by the runtime. So I have just made it a dynamic as true, right? So whenever I'm just going to have the stadium access, so we can add the new values in the runtime. But for this stadium type, we cannot do it because we have made it false. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can just quickly see that what is the true and false. This is a Boolean value that we are using. So we can add up the new values if it is true. We cannot add up the new values if it is false. That's a very basic understanding of it.
My question is, like, if I have to add a new value, so I have to do that in this particular XML file.
Yeah, means, see,
right now you have updated the system, and after that I need to add a new value.
yeah, so that's what I am telling, that if it is defined as part of the system like this, then we can just add the value in the runtime without affecting the server or without bring down the server, okay? But if it is false, we have to bring down the server, add the value over here, let's say open air enclosed or something like that, means that another value over here, then run and all, update the running system, then only you will be able to see the value itself.
At the table level?
It will be updated once that is created, and means once we do the antall and update running system, the table will also be updated internally.
Can't we give the entries in the table directly instead of going through this XML file?
That's what I told, that this is the way to directly put the stuff in the table, right?
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah, this is what I told, that I got that you have missed this part, but if we put it dynamic as true, we can just directly put it in the table itself in the runtime. Okay. So anyone else, any questions?
Yeah, hi Deepak.
Yes.
Deepak, I would like to ask you, like, what is the differences between atomic type and compose type?
So atomic type and compose type, if we are using item type as a normal Java primitive type itself, so that would be the atomic type, and compose type is like, let's say this item type stadium is actually extending from, let's say, product or something, some existing type, that would be the compose type. So atomic type is basically a Java primitive, and the compose type is basically it's of another hybris type, we can say like that.
Okay. So while logging into any cockpits or any consoles, we give default value like admin lambda. So can we change those values?
The admin name that you want to change, is it?
Yeah.
That you can do it from platform project.properties. It's defined in the platform project.properties. You can see it.
Okay, fine. Platform.properties.
Platform project.properties.
Project.properties. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you, Deepak. Yeah, thanks.
Sorry. This is the login ID password that is defined over here for the admin. Okay, you can just simply change it in the local.properties and use it, whatever you want. And once we will be seeing the HMC console as well, we will see that how we can change it from there. Haja. So yeah, what we were just trying to do is like we are just going to map the relation between the stadium and matches. So just to start, before that, what I would require, like, is anyone is having any questions so far? Anyone? Okay. So what we are just going to do over here is like we are just going to define a binary relation between the stadium and matches, and let us quickly open the copy items XML as well.
Deepak?
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry for interrupting. Just I want to ask, like,
Go ahead.
Yeah, Deepak, like, we give here like deployment table is equal to copy trial stadium and type code is equal to 10123. So if we are not giving this value here, and we will do like AND build, then this table will get created in. So you tell where it will get created actually. Just I want to know where it will get created.
Okay. So let me just tell you one thing. It's Khaja, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Khaja, just we are yet to discuss about the deployment, and I have deliberately missed, as I told you. So I will discuss about it. Okay. This line number 34, we will obviously discuss, but give us some time, because as I know that you know, you have worked on the hybris part itself, but there are some people here who doesn't work on that, right? So we have to wait for them a bit, and then I will obviously tell you the where and how it actually happens. So now, okay, no problem. So we are just going to create the relation between two item types. One is stadium, another is match. So the basic idea is we are just going to have a one-to-many relationship where one stadium can hold multiple matches. So the code snippet will look like very simple. We will be using the relation tags, and after enum we will define it. So let us quickly, So this is how it actually looks like. So we will be having a relation code. There is a stadium match relation. Then the localize, it's not localized, so relation we don't need to localize, so that's fine. We have made it localized false. It's optional attribute. If you don't want to give it, fine, no problem. Generate true and auto create true. Then the source element is stadium. So qualifier stadium is given. So qualifier stadium means like we have used this. There is a column that will be created. So basically what happens, for enum one table will be created, for relation also one table will be created in the name of stadium match relation, and in that there will be two columns. One is for stadium, one is for matches, and the cardinality for stadium will be 1 and cardinality for this one will be many. Okay, so this is the very basic way to define a relation, and let's make it very clear. The first will be enum type, then it will be relations, then it will be item type. This is the order that is defined as part of the items.xsd. So we need to maintain this. And this is what our complete copy trail items.xml looks like. The whole copy trail items.xml looks like we have the enum types, we have the relations, and then we have the item type, right? Now we have the target element as match. So what I will do is like I will search for this one in copy items XML, means where the match is defined. Okay. Item type code is equals to match. Yes, this is the one. We are just trying to map it. So this item type, we are just putting it as many, and there are the relations with the stadium, where the stadium is 1. Okay. Now tell me, if I run the AND, will it be successful? We have done it in a proper way, right? Whatever is supposed to be written, we have written that as well. So will the AND be successful? Guys, any idea?
Yes, Deepak.
Okay. But let us just try that then. But I am telling you that the AND will not be successful this time. Let us do it. And then you have to tell me that why the AND is not successful. In some time, we will be able to see that it will get likely 30-40 errors and it will stop. So it's basically just now loading the model classes and all those things. So there are likely 23 errors. Okay, 7 less what I predicted. So why? It's basically saying that it's not getting the match itself in the copy trail. If you see that the bin custom copy trail GNSRC itself, it's not in the Jalo itself, it is not getting the match. The match cannot be, the import is not there. The match, it's not able to find the match itself. Why? Because match is not defined as part of the copy trail itself. And in the extension info XML, I never told that copy trail is dependent on copy.
Yeah.
So all I need to do is I have to just put it like this. So if I just put it as copy and then I go for the ant all, this time ant will be successful for me. Because now the dependency between the extension is created. So the takeaway of us from this part is like, whenever we are using anything from other extensions, we have to define the proper dependency between the extension in the extension info XML. Okay. So, okay. So this is what it is all about, and we will wait for the ant to be successful this time, and this time it should be successful. Okay. So it's compiling the capital extension, everything should be fine now, and once it is fine, it's successful right now. So I will start the server in my system, and we will be able to see that what all the types or what all the tables are generated. And again, all I have to do is I have to update the running system, because there are so many changes I have done as part of the items XML. So this is the part that we were supposed to discuss as part of it. So enum type we have seen, the type we have given, and all these things. So now the compose type references, there are several examples itself that are already there. So even this is the relation type itself. So I have just qualifier car and qualifier employee. This is the example that we have. So what actually is having, we are having a one-to-many relationship itself, and in the car table, in the driver columns, as the car employees are relations itself defined. So it will be coming up as the values from the car table itself, and it will be internally mapped as well. How it will be internally mapped, that I will show you in the deployment part, which we are yet to discuss. And this is what all happens whenever we write the items XML. So whenever we write the items XML in the extension items XML itself, for us copy trail items XML, the resources are generated. Resources, the DTOs, the data transfer objects are also generated during the AND build process. Then the service layer models are also generated, like the Bootstrap, GNSRC, whatever we have seen so far. That service layer models are also generated, and we have to pass the gateway for insert update. This gateway, whatever the highlighted part, is the update running system. And once the update running system is done, the database tables are also been mapped and created as part of the system. Okay. So this is what it's supposed to be there. So let us just quickly start the server and update the running system. We will be able to see the whole thing. And as part of the HMC hybris management console, go to the system types. You will be able to search for all the types. But the HMC itself, we will be having a detailed discussion. Okay. So, and if I just want to search for the stadium and all from the system or from the database right now, we would be able to see that. So you can just create some of the test cases. If you just want to do it, you will be able to figure it out. Okay. So now, let's the other stuff. Okay, the server startup is done for me, and I'll do a quick update running system and search for the HMC whether everything is there or not. So update the running system. So there is likely another part that we can just discuss over here. Okay, let's see. We have seen that we are using the Java primitive types like the int, strings, and all these things itself as part of the items XML, right? Now there is a requirement that came from the customers itself, that we need to provide in a data model. There is some attribute which can contain 5,000 characters. Okay, the length of the string should be 5,000. Let's say we are going for the registration module, and in the registration module we are having something called the registration commands. And as our customer is concerned, they want the command to be of a maximum up to 5,000 characters. But in the data model or in the Java world, there is no way that we can have we can consume 5,000 characters, right? In the normal Java string, we cannot consume that. It's 256 itself, like that's it. So how we are going to handle that? That is the question. I will tell you. So in the system types, and then I will search for the stadium. Once I search for the stadium, I can see all the stadium, whatever I have created, that has come up. Even the stadium access also has come up over here. I can see that the enumeration values itself over here, which all are there. The XML representation of this particular code snippet also is being displayed as part of it. So you can see that there are so many things. We will come to these things, but not as of now. It will be an unnecessary overhead. So what the relationship, there is a table has been created. Then the stadium match relation, stadium is there, and stadium access and stadium type. So for relation, one table is created. For item type, one table is created. For enumerations, one table is created. Okay, in the hybrid systems itself. Now what we are just going to discuss is like how we are going to handle. So this part is done, like the automatic generation of the whole thing. Even if I just search for this guy, Control Shift R, stadium, only stadium model.java is coming up, right? But all I need to do is I need to just refresh the platform, and once I refresh the platform itself, so I can see the stadium type, stadium access is also being created. The model classes are also being created here. Okay. And these enums, whatever is there, so hybris enum value, it's just extending, and the values are also being taken care as part of this. So now I would not go further because the deployment anyway we will discuss more about it on the next session. But the takeaway or the things that you will be answering me is like the problem I have told. In the registration module, my customer wants a string to consume 5,000 characters. And in the Java world, I cannot do it, right? So what is the way that I can fit 5,000 characters in a string via items.xml? There is a way, and what I would request you can quickly go through the attributes of the copy items.xml, okay? And you will find something new over there. Only go through the attributes of the item types. So if you find something new over there, just do let me know as we start the next sessions from further words itself, like the collection relations and the deployment part. So we will take that question from there and we will try to answer, and we will see that whatever the findings we have. And yes, there is a way that we can define in some case, define something that can consume, that in that a string can consume 5,000 characters, or all the standard database related stuff is already there. Means along with the Java part of it itself, we have the database part of it as well. So this is what we are just going to have as part of our today's understanding. So we will have this takeaway, and I need the answer on the next session. So guys, we have done a couple of things over here. So I would like to know whatever the questions that you are having, whatever the doubts you are having, and all those things. Or we can just quickly go for the collection relation part as well. So that's completely your takeaway I would like to have from you. Amit or anyone else, whoever feels to have any questions, please feel free to ask me the questions itself.
Deepak, Jaideep here.
Yeah, Jaideep, go ahead.
So first, we have to download this copy.zip, and there is copy trail.zip also, right there, or we are creating that?
Yeah, we are creating that. Those are some ready code base itself. We are not going to take that ready code bases. We will create it by ourselves.
Okay.
Just for our reference, they have given it, but we will not use that.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyone else any questions? Okay. So Uday, yeah.
Deepak Kunda. So right now, as you discuss about this item.xml file, so is there any flowchart for the same that we can look what tables have been defined and what the relationship has been maintained, or every time we need to go to that XML file and look for that for the existing scenario like copy?
Okay. So for copy items XML, there is a means relationship diagram is already, you will get it in the wiki itself if you go for the data modeling itself. Okay. And there are some free tools as well which actually represent the schematic diagram out of this one, out of the means items.xml itself. That means you have to upload the items.xml and you will get the schematic representation of that. There are some free tools itself that you can get it. Otherwise, I have to search for the link and I will give it to you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, just give me a quick reminder on that. Okay.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. So that's the very basic idea of that. And so I would like to ask one small question to Uday. That Uday, your system is up and running now, or you are still stuck with the stuff?
I'm still stuck with that stuff, and I have that screen. So if you make me presenter, I can show you.
Yeah, sure. I will just make Uday the presenter for this. And okay, you are the presenter right now.
So this is what I got the error.
Okay, build error, failed to receive artifact. Okay, let me check. DB driver. So which version you are using?
Which one? Hybris?
Can you just go? Just go to the bin. Yeah. Go to the downloaded zip itself. .4.0.6. Okay, this you should not get this error by any chance. Okay, so can you just okay? So can you just go to the command prompt itself once? Yeah. Can you scroll down?
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So there is something. Okay. So do one thing. Go to your instance itself, like this one. Yeah. Hybris. There are some other folders also as well, right? So this is where it's not. Go back in the previous step, previous itself. Hybris dependencies, EMS, MVN. Can you go to the zip once? Okay. So whatever the zip you have just downloaded.
Actually, it has been shared by the other colleagues. I couldn't get that. So Amit has downloaded and installed successfully, and the same thing he shared with me. So shall I open this extract?
Yes, just right click and open.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay, so here I can see the dependencies itself. So there are some. So you extracted with 7-zip, isn't it?
Yeah.
This should not be the problem, because what I am just getting is the artifact Maven error is giving the errors due to the dependencies. The hybris dependencies folder is there, right? There are some of the dependencies that is been provided as of it, right? So that's why it's giving the error from the Maven itself. Okay. So that's the thing, but it should not be happening in your system. So just let me do one thing. So I'm asking for the control in your system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Okay, this is done.
I have done add clean all actually.
Yeah, that's fine. And that's fine. Let me just check whether the dependencies, yeah, it's not getting the dependency in your system. There is some problem with the extraction itself. So should not be the case at any point of time. It's not able to find it out. Missing Microsoft SQL JDBC jar. Okay. Where the file location is okay. So in the extraction downloaded zip itself, the problem is there. Whatever you have downloaded, I believe. Otherwise, it should not be the problem at any point of time.
Yeah, Amit, are you there on the call? So because Amit has said like he has completed yesterday with the same file. So Amit, yeah. So I will check it out offline. Otherwise with him because what he has done is he has downloaded, installed on his system, then he uploaded into a Dropbox. So I downloaded from there.
Yeah, no problem. So it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So what actually I would like to know from you is like do one thing, just get it sorted out, or otherwise you can ask Amit or anyone who has not done or who has not installed or modified copy like mine. Okay. Zip that whole thing, and upload it into Dropbox for your information, and then you can download the direct stuff and run Antall and start the server. So it will not ask you that basic steps itself, cause anyway it will be created. The rest of the stuff like the data config, temp and log, it will be created for us. Okay.
Okay.
So you can just ask that someone to upload. Otherwise, this should not be the problem. This is like whatever you have downloaded, it might be the problem for that. But you can just check it offline, because it should not be at any point of time there is just a second. It's repo mvn2 comsap. It's not able to find it out. Basically, that artifact, the Maven artifact, is not able to find out. That's a problem which is happening.
Yeah, it's trying to download from that repo 1 MB win, but
it's
failed
not.
that. Yeah. So this is a path to dependency. This is, I don't know, this database driver.
The database, basically what is happening for the Maven dependencies, it's not able to find out the database driver for your system. That's the issue that is happening.
Yeah.
So in this case, it should be figured out, or otherwise what I would do is like I would be we will see it, that's what means, like you can just take the reference from any other system, or simply you can do one thing. Whoever has initialized their system properly, just take the 4 folders like the config, data, log, and temp. Okay.
Okay.
Take a zip out of it and just replace it with your system's stuff.
So on the hybris, you are saying this one, right?
So what go to hybris? Yeah. Config, data, log, and temp. 4 folders.
Okay, config, log, and temp.
Config, data, log, and temp.
Okay. These 4, whatever they've already installed. Copy, just zip it and then just paste here. Correct?
Yeah. Just replace the stuff for your system itself.
Got it. So it's nothing but already successfully installed information will be there, and I'll be using that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that will be easiest way.
Yeah. Rather than just uploading the whole bin itself, bin will be likely 1.6 GB or something, and this will be a smaller zip.
Yeah.
So you can do it very quickly.
Oh, I'll do that then. I'll ask Amit itself because he has successfully installed on his system.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. No issues. So anyone is having any questions, guys? Anyone, any questions, guys?
Yeah, Deepak. So next session is on Sunday now, or when is it next session?
It's as per the schedule itself. So you can just check the schedule. I have to check the schedule as well in my case, and means I have the invites as a calendar. Okay, so I will check the calendar and I can check that. So you can just check with Amit or Sunil itself. So they will just tell you. I just got the schedule from them itself.
Actually, we don't have any invites for the next week, actually.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Okay. So what I would be doing is like I will simply put a mail to Amit and Sunil regarding this. So they will be sending out the invite itself to you guys. Okay. So means after closing the call for today, we will be just doing the same. I will be doing the same. Yes, Amit, you there?
Invites and everything we will send the related to WebEx.
I will check with Sunil and probably he should be sending the invite the next one.
Okay, no problem. No problem. That's absolutely fine. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone